Hi, my name is Dane Sardelli. The company that I chose is Bauer Hockey. Bauer's main mission statement is to become a leader in the hockey field, equipment industry, and bring about inspiration in their players across the global communities. Bauer does not have a direct diversity and inclusion program, but they do have programs that promote diversity. One of their main programs is called the Barn, which is a campaign that promotes diversity in hockey. This program has a grant of $100,000 over 4 years for equipment for those who are interested in playing hockey but can't quite afford the gear. This program is directed towards those of the Black community as well as the female community. Just some stats about Bauer here. They were founded in 1927 and are a private company. They have 506 in total employees throughout their company. Their core target market is elite teen hockey players ages 12 through 17. Bauer is a global brand, and one of their mission statements includes that they bring about inspiration in their players across a global community. This stat is pretty interesting and definitely shows that they have diversity already in place, and that is that 43% of Bauer employees are women. Bauer is estimated to be worth about $374 million today. And lastly, Bauer was owned by Nike until 2008, where they sold to private investors for $200 million. My firm that I chose is All Walks of Life, or AWL. Our mission statement of my company is to allow all walks of life, no matter where you are, to experience the love and fulfillment of life and sports. Some goals of AWL that we have for Bauer is to expand to having other ethnicities other than blacks and females involved in Bauer's programs. Another goal is to raise more money for those who are in need of equipment. Another one is to hire all walks of life in every store from culture to culture. We want our work field to be very diverse. And the last goal is to hire employees that are of different cultures other than whites. I chose this company because it has always been one of my favorite brands of equipment ever since I grew up playing hockey. I think it would be really cool to work alongside them to help them improve their diversity and inclusion programs. This is a brand that I've always been interested in, and that is why it has been very easy to do research on this company. The vision statement of AWL regarding Bauer is to increase the diversity among hockey players, whether it's employees, teens, or professional players. Next, moving on to the SWOT analysis. Starting off with our strengths of Bauer. Bauer is a very large company that is one of two major hockey brand dealers. They supply a large amount of NHL players with gear, some of which have endorsement deals. Bauer does a lot of worldwide business. They also have a very good advertising department as well as social media departments. I see ads from Bauer all the time, whether it's on TV or social media. Oftentimes it is on Instagram or Facebook. And lastly, Bauer has a steady growth rate throughout the past 10 years. Moving on to the weaknesses of Bauer, they have very high prices for most of their gear. The top of the line gear is very, very expensive. Skates can be close to $1,000 and sticks are just over $300. Although they do worldwide business, some countries around the world don't have hockey as a sport, so they aren't able to provide for those areas. The duration of their gear oftentimes doesn't last long, and you tend to need new equipment every 1 to 2 years, which is kind of tough when their gear is very, very expensive. And then complaints about working holidays and weekends from former employees is something that has been a complaint. Next, moving on to opportunities. Bauer would potentially be able to bring hockey to communities and countries that don't have hockey around at all. This was mentioned in their weaknesses, but is also an opportunity for them to really bring hockey to these communities that don't have the sport at all. They have the money and resources to create new programs, such as more that regard diversity, which is definitely in the making. They have the ability to create new equipment that is next gen and allows people of all ages to be interested in. And they have the opportunity to endorse more professional athletes, which overall will gain them sales due to kids that look up to these athletes. I remember when I was younger, I always would love to watch hockey, and every time I saw the player that I liked wearing a certain brand or certain using a certain stick, I would always go out and try to get that stick. Lastly, moving on to threats, there are only two major hockey brands, so the other brand, which is CCM, could take over the market and become a monopoly. If competitors like CCM focus on a single product, such as just skates or just sticks, they could potentially lose customers because that company is focused on one thing while Bauer is focused on all parts or all equipments. And then lastly, moving on to gauging success. The way I would gauge success for Bauer's company is to send out surveys for employees to fill out after 1 month, 6 months, and then 1 year. And these surveys would just ask how the diversity and inclusion plan has been working throughout the company and how these employees like it. And then next would be to assess leaders' participation in diversity and inclusion training and development programs. This will show if the leaders of the company are invested in the training and development, which is a major role in a diversity and inclusion plan. And here are my sources, and that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.